I've been experimenting a little bit with belt progression and deburring technique. I have a new sequence which seems to work really well for me. It gives a really nice bitey, sharp edge. It will be an edge trailing on a 1x30. We'll be using this customer's Wüsthof with a new replacement handle on it. And I'll walk you through what I'm doing, and hopefully you can see what's happening with the burr, and we'll see how sharp it is afterwards. Enjoy the video. Okay, so 1x30 edge trailing. We are going to be using a Klingspor 120 grit and a Klingspor 240 grit for the refining, and then we'll move to the deburring from there. Here we go, 120 belt is on, the angle guide is set to 15 degrees. I like using this form of angle guide. It allows me the repeatability, allowing me to get to the apex and the complete bevel every time. It's from side to side and between belts. I prefer using the angle guide like this than to having one that you actually run the knife down the angle guide the whole time. This allows you to sort of angle the knife to miss handles or bolsters or whatever the case is. This knife was quite dull, so it took about 4 or 5 passes on each side. I'm going to cut the video and restart it again at the end of the 120, save you the pain. And here is the last pass on the left hand side of the knife. And a quick once over, making sure the bevels are the same on both sides, making sure they're even throughout the length of the knife, and that we have a burr along the entire edge of the knife. Last pass now on the right hand side of the knife, and we are done with the bevels. Now a quick touch up on the tip, bringing the spine down to keep the knife still thin, making sure that it is nice and pointy and sharp. That is it for the 120. Here the 240 goes on. This will be a really quick process. It will be a single pass on each side. It's just enough to refine the scratch pattern a little bit. A 120 scratch is just a little bit too heavy to refine with the next deburring stage. Again, using that angle guide just to make sure that I contact the entire bevel and that I get to the apex properly. Very important that you touch the apex. So now for the new part of the deburring procedure. I am going to be using an extra fine Scotchbrite belt. I'm going to be using the slack portion of the belt, but I really don't think it matters if you're on the platen or not. This will be a really lightweight process. You don't want to round the edge up or like tear the actual apex off. So the plan here, I hope you're going to be able to see this, is to fold the burr back and forward to help it come off. But not only that, the 3M belt is abrasive, so it's going to actually sort of polish the burr off and refine it. It's not just going to break it off. So I'm doing my best to angle match this as close as possible with as little weight as possible. And you should be able to see the burr folding over and starting to come off. So by doing these extra passes on the fine Scotchbrite, I'm able to remove a lot more of the burr without over polishing the edge on the cardboard wheel. I'll still go to the cardboard wheel, but it takes less to remove the remnants of that burr than it would had I not done this. So here we are at the cardboard wheel. It's adding a bit of fresh green compound. Here we're only going to take one pass per side now, so it's a lot less than I was doing in the past. And because this is a like fine polishing step, that tends to take the teeth off if you do too much of it. So one pass per side gives it a bit of polish, but it still leaves a lot of bite in that edge. Here we are at the 1x30 again. This time I have a clean felt belt on, no compound. This step remains the same as it did in the past. It is a lightweight pass on a high-speed belt, matching the angle as close as possible. If you're a little bit up here, like a degree or half a degree, it really doesn't matter, as long as it's just touching that apex. This doesn't do too much polishing, but it definitely removes anything that might be left of that burr. And there the finger test to see how sharp it is, and let me tell you, it is sharp. A little bit of alcohol here. This will take off the residue from the green compound. Good old newspaper. Nice and smooth. I'd say that is exceptionally sharp. And if we want to push that a little bit, paper towel, nice and clean. Let's see if we can push this test a little further. Perfect.